Hi guys, it's James Silver here in St. Petersburg, Florida. We have today our final episode in our tips for buyers on Hashtag Tips Tuesday. So this is our 8th in our 8-part series. Today we're going to be talking about getting to the closing table and what you need to do that last sort of 24 hours prior to closing and buying your new house, which is obviously very exciting. So what you'll want to do is schedule with your realtor a time to do a walkthrough of the property. What that entails is going there maybe a couple of hours prior to closing, where you're just going to walk the property, try flicking on a few light switches, turn on the AC, try all the faucets and the taps and everything, make sure everything still checks out, because essentially what the walkthrough is for is to make sure you're purchasing everything, the house, in the same quality and condition that it was when you initially put it under contract. So this is kind of your final opportunity just to go through the house, make sure everything checks out, because essentially once you sign those bits of paper, you're then committed and you own the property, and anything that may be up with it at that point is on you. As well as doing the actual walkthrough, you want to allow yourself enough time to get everywhere that you need to be. So you want to find out what time you're closing, work backwards from there. If it's a 20-minute drive from the title company to the property, obviously book that out. Then maybe schedule out another 20 minutes to half hour to just go around the property for your walkthrough. And then obviously you got to schedule your time to get there as well. Make sure that you do have that down to a T, because title companies tend to have many closings going on in a day. And one thing that can be an issue is if you don't keep to the timeline that's set out, it can throw everything else out of tilt, and it can just lead to a slightly more clumsy and delayed closing. Once you get to the title company, they're going to ask you for your ID so they know that you are you. It's always a good idea to bring 2 forms of ID, just sometimes they like to have a second one just to make sure everything checks out, or a lender sometimes requires that, so bring 2 just to be safe. You're going to have a whole bunch of paperwork to work your way through. The title agent will kind of go through that with you, explain what each bit of paper is, and you can ask any questions for anything you need clarity on, and you just kind of go ahead and sign. Now that you've signed all the paperwork, you are now proud homeowners. Congratulations. If it's your first house, it's a very weird sort of feeling. You're like, what the heck have I just got myself in for? But I'm sure it'll all turn out great. Sometimes you can get that feeling if it's not your first house, but anyway, you are now homeowners. Everything's done, everything's dusted when it comes to the transaction. Now you need to get back to the house, and any work or unpacking that you got to do, you got to get going with that. I hope that you found these videos across the board pretty informative and useful. There's so many different angles to work when it comes to real estate, and different sort of scenarios that can allow for situations. So I just tried to give a really brief overview as to each step along the way. As I've always said, please do give me a comment or a question below. I'd be happy to answer that for you and discuss different scenarios at greater length. There's going to be a whole bunch more content coming out over my YouTube channel, so follow me on social media at JSilverRealtor. It's James Silver, hashtag Brit in the Berg, and I'll catch you next time. Thanks.